I know why. Ain't no sun up in the sky. Fucking chemtrails. Welcome to the Playa Lord Show. I am your host, Playa Lord. I want to thank everybody who subscribed to my channel. And I know there's a number of you who are watching my channel. Go ahead and subscribe too. Thank you for supporting me anyway. Now, with that being said, let's begin. I told you.
You ain't tell me shit.
I told you in my video called Alert. Chicago will be nuked, but the demonic presence is the true alert now. I told you in that video that there was going to be some major demonic shit that was going to affect us leading up to this election in November 2016. And look at what's going on. Now, the Grox 1 talks about this escalation between the 15th and the 23rd of every month. The Illuminati has been doing these rituals, these false flag attacks, these so-called coincidences that we are experiencing, whether it's some type of shooting or some type of scandal going on with these celebrities. It's been going on for some time now, but I know a lot of you will say, well, you can look at any date in history and something's always happening. Now, that's obvious. But July 23rd is very, very special. Now, before I get into talking about July 23rd, as usual, you need to go back a little bit. And I'm going to let you listen to this clip from Bobby Hemmett. Now, before I play this clip, I want to say this. I do not agree with Bobby Hemmett. I don't agree with him 100% of the time. I don't agree with nobody 100% of the time. I don't agree with myself 100% of the time. But the truth, this knowledge is all over the place, and you just got to filter through the bullshit. So, Bobby Hemmett, this was recorded probably sometime around 2003, and I'm going to expand on it after I play this clip. And he's going to give you a little more detail about this number 23, this July 23rd, these rituals, this Illuminati crap. Now, I talk about these demonic energies coming through, but there's always some positive things going on as well. But of course, the Illuminati likes to use these positive dates, these positive time frames to do their demonic rituals. And they will, of course, use these things to distract us from the truth. Of course, the number one reason is they want to distract you from Jesus. So I'm going to play this clip, Bobby Hemmett, and then I'll expand on it. Play the tape, niggas.
Two things going on here. Now, this guy here is undoubtedly gay. But here goes the white people again. Obviously, this has to be a personal picture. That's right. One that is not supposed to be used on the front cover of a newspaper when two people died. See, despite what you think about this guy here doing the shooting, another guy died in the context of this, which just so happened to be good friends with this guy. And which leads us to that whole political part I'll get into in a few minutes of where there's already been made mention that this was a lover spat. But before I get into that, I want to get into this particular part. What does it tell you about the mindset of a people that had a horrendous death, two deaths? From the mic. Yeah, horrendous death, two deaths, on July 23rd, which is key. That's the African New Year in ancient Kemet and the rising of Sirius. So we also have some type of conspiracy going on. I'll get into it in a few seconds. But I just want to talk about this. Why would they put this on the front page of the New York Daily News? You see? This picture of a man here, you know what I'm saying, sporting some butt crack and some damn plastic yellow pants on.
Because, see, they not only just talking about him. They
That's
talk
right.
about the black man, period.
There you
When
go.
they do things like that.
It's all a part of a propaganda of dehumanization.
right.
Not dehumanizing the killer, but
right.
dehumanizing the black man and black people in general.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, another person died in the context of this, so why are you going to make mockery in a certain condescending way the next day? Now, first of all, it was a ritual that's going down, and this is nothing but MK Ultra, the Manchurian candidate, where they could just give a person a phone call and he go and shoot up the place and kill this other congressman, councilman.
James Davis.
You see, kill this other councilman, and his middle name is Boaz, which is a Masonic symbol and a Masonic genealogy of Boaz and a pillar. You see, and so they would do this, and they would put this is how they do things based on this. But it's also still going back. Now you got to understand that why did it happen on July 23rd, which is in case the African rising of Sirius, the star Sirius, and the African New Year for most of the ancient world, and the New Year for people in the ancient world, period. But not only that, remember, and I've been saying this since '98, that you must understand that whenever they do this during the summer solstice, it is for distraction. Whenever this happens during the summer solstice, it is always due to distraction. The Abner Luima thing happened during the summer solstice. This is always for distraction when they would put this type of this aspect on. It's just like this Kobe Bryant thing we'll get into in a few minutes. It's nothing but distraction. Why did they sentence him during the summer solstice? Because they know that during the summer solstice, let me explain out there for the people who don't understand, that black people are closer to not only the star Sirius, but the cosmos, but the production of melanin is at a higher level during the summer months. It's a rebirth of the human spirit, period. And so black people having the highest form of melanin, they have to put certain things that give you a conversation so you can be locked into foolishness. Remember, and I've been saying this since '98, that you must understand that whenever they do this during the summer solstice, it is for distraction. It is for distraction. Whenever this happens.
Now, Bobby Hemmett goes on to talk about something else, and I find it strange I couldn't find this clip. But he went on to say that during this time of the year, with these rituals, there's a group called the Boule. Now, this group is a group of successful, rich, and powerful black men. The Boule. I'm sure many of you have heard of this. I'm sure many of you have not. But this is a group of successful black men. The Boule is like the Skull and Bones. Basically, I guess you could say the so-called white man secret society, the Illuminati, and the gay Boule, as they say. This is just basically a secret society for black men. Rich, powerful, successful celebrities, people in some type of business, whether it's TV or whatever. And they will all get together during this time of the year. At the time, it was said that they was going to Atlanta and other places. But all these rich, powerful black men, they would all get together and have this big old party and pop each other in the ass. Couldn't make this shit up. You know it's true because these are some demonic ass niggas. They worship Satan. And even if they're not gay, they will perform these gay acts because that's what they have to do with these rituals. This is how they get paid. This is how they get down. With that being said, you heard Bobby Hemmett talk about July 23rd, the African New Year, Kemet. He also talked about melanated people, the so-called black race, the Hebrews. Now, also remember, he talked about distraction. All of these rituals are not only for these idiots to conjure up these demons and do their thing, but it's also to distract you from what's really going on. So July 23rd, like I said before, I know many of you will be like, you can look at any day in history and something always happened. But that's not the point. That's obvious. July 23rd is special, and they like to use this date to perform rituals. There's a lot of sacrificing going on behind closed doors. There's a lot of people who end up missing. There's a lot of kidnappings going on. This is what they do. And all the things that they do as far as public distractions, public executions, will be these school shootings, these shootings by the cops, scandals by these politicians and celebrities and whatever. So I'm going to go through our history real quick, and I want you to hear these so-called coincidences of these major events and scandals throughout the years that just happened to happen on July 23rd. So let me get out my paper. Uh-oh. All right, here we go. Wait a minute. I gotta fix my microphone. All right. So, y'all gotta understand. You gotta read. I reads. You know, there's a joke going around that the white man, the so-called white man, he likes to put the truth in books because he know niggas don't read. That's funny. Unfortunately, it's true. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna run through this list. Now check this out. July 23rd, 1967, the 12th Street Riot, one of the worst riots in U.S. history in Detroit, in the predominantly African-American in the city, which ain't no such thing as African-American, that's another story. 43 people killed, 342 injured, 1,400 buildings burned. That was July 23rd, 1967. July 23rd, 1968, the Glenville shootout in Cleveland, Ohio, a violent shootout between a black militant organization and the Cleveland Police Department, Cleveland. During the shootout, a riot begins that lasts 5 days. As always, that number 5. Just like George Bush sat back for 5 days while people drowned in the streets. 5 is a representation of the 5th age that we're going into, and go on and on and on. Let's continue. July 23rd, 1984. Vanessa Williams becomes the first Miss America to resign when she surrenders her crown because she had nude photos in Penthouse. Distraction. Guess what this is for? That's what that's all about. Just a distraction. July 23rd, 1995. Comet Hale-Bopp is discovered and is seen with the naked eye later in that year. July 23rd, 2003. Councilman James E. Davis murdered by Othniel Askew, however you pronounce his name. July 23rd, 2003. The Councilman James E. Davis, that's what Bobby Hemmett was talking about. And also in that same year, on July 23rd, claims of abuse by clergy in Massachusetts, however you pronounce it, Massachusetts. The claims were clergy members and others in the Boston Archdiocese possibly abused over 1,000 children over a 60-year period. Now, of course, they say possibly abused. Of course they did. And this only came out on July 23rd for more distractions, to distract you from the truth, to distract you from what's going on, keep you confused, keep you upset, fear, whatever type of distraction they decide to put up on your ass. That was 2003, July 23rd. July 23rd, 2005, Egypt, terrorist attacks. 3 bombs went off, 3 bombs detonated, killing as many as 100 people. All right, hold on. I gotta move my papers here. July 23rd, 2011, Amy Winehouse dies at the age of 27. She joins the 27 Club, by the way. The 27 Club is a bunch of celebrities who just happen to pass away at the age of 27. And this started back in the day with these musicians and celebrities like Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison. They all died at the age of 27. And the reason why everybody thought that was strange was because not only did these 4 people die at the age of 27, They all died at the age of 27 within a 2-year period between 1969 and 1971. What a coincidence. It also goes on to say, when I was reading this off the internet, talking about Amy Winehouse, who died on July 23rd in 2011. It goes on to say that 3 years before she died at the age of 27, she was concerned about dying at age 27. Another coincidence. Yippee! July 20th. Now, this ain't the 23rd, but watch this, because there are some things that happens that leads up to the 23rd. July 20th, 2012, you had that movie theater shooting, that Batman crap in Denver, Colorado. 12 people killed, 70 injured. Now, that was July 20th, but 3 days later, July 23rd, 2012, you had the Iraq attacks, as they called it. You had shootings and bombings, 116 people killed, 299 wounded. But not only that, July 23rd, 2012, the first American woman in space just happens to die on July 23rd, 2012. And the very next day, because the demonic rituals continue, what a coincidence, the very next day, July 24th, Sherman Hemsley died. If y'all don't know who Sherman Hemsley is, George Jefferson. Y'all probably still like, who's that? Anyway, July 23rd, 2014. All these things are happening on July 23rd. And like I said, I know how y'all are, it's just, it could be any day, just something's always happening. But again, these are rituals, people. And I'm not going to sit here and give all the credit to the Illuminati either. This is a spiritual matter. We are spiritual beings in a physical body in a physical world. But our Father in heaven is in control. He's the one who's controlling all this. You know, they call Satan the puppet master, and he got strings on everybody. But y'all need to understand, Satan got strings too, and our Father in heaven is pulling those strings. So who's really in control? Last one, July 23rd, 2014. 44, like the 44th president, what a coincidence. July 23rd, 2014, 44 people are killed after Trans-Asia Flight 222 crashed into buildings in Taiwan. Plane crashing into buildings. Plane crashing into buildings. Never heard that before. So, before I talk about what's happening right now in the month of July 2016 and what's gonna happen leading up to the 23rd, I want to play 2 more clips to let you know, like I've told y'all, those of you who are listening to me and others, we've been telling y'all for years that the Illuminati uses the mainstream media to lie to you, but they use the movies to tell you the truth. And therein lies the deception, because like I said before, if they put the truth in the movies, you're going to accept it as fiction. And whenever we tell you about these things, you're going to be, that can't be true. I seen it in the movies. So anyway, here's 2 clips. This is 2 movies. I'm going to play these clips. One of the movies, I'm going to play a clip from Jeepers Creepers. And I'm going to play the other clip from a movie called The Number 23. Roll the tape, niggas.
Every 23rd spring, for 23 days, it gets to eat. Eat. What the hell is that thing? Go! It's stuck in reverse!
You must have 5, maybe 600 bodies down there.
You've got something it likes, one of you.
Suppose I'm buying that for you, too.
Actually, I've had a good long time to flip through it. Why don't you give it a try?
The Number 23. A heart-wrenching odyssey into paranoia. With a most horrifying metamorphosis ever told.
I'm buying this for you.
Chapter 1. All I could think about was the number. I met you when I was...
23.
And the day we met was?
September 14th.
9/14. 14 plus 9 is?
23. Is it all just a coincidence?
I don't know. So what is 23?
There are 23 axioms to Euclid's geometry. The human body consists of 46 chromosomes, 23 from each parent. 2 divided by 3, 0.666. Number of the devil.
So is 23 a blessing or a curse? I was born at 11:12 p.m. 11 plus 12. 23. My birthday, 2-3. Driver's license, social security number. It's all 23. As if it's imitating my life.
You've concerned yourself with minutia, and you've drawn wild conclusions from them.
Every 23rd word on every 23rd page.
I warn you, hell is waiting.
The number.
What does that mean?
You know. Waco, Texas, and the Oklahoma City bombing both happened on April 19th. You gotta get out, it's coming for you. 4 plus 19 is 23.
This is not who you are.
The Hiroshima bomb was dropped 8/15.
Dad!
8 plus 15 is 23.
13 years of lies! No more!
Don't do this to us.
All right, what more can I say about the number 23? About July 23rd? I mean, speaking of number 23, who is the most famous NBA player to wear the number 23? I know y'all know that answer. Michael Jordan. That nigga who sacrificed his dad. I gotta give a shout out to a brother I was talking to on the internet, because I was trying to figure out did Michael Jordan sacrifice anybody before that? And what a coincidence, his friend drowned supposedly back in the day. And that was probably a sacrifice, who knows? But that asshole definitely sacrificed his dad. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player that ever played in the NBA. But he is a demonic piece of shit. So let's continue. Now, what's next? The question is now, what's going to happen this year, July 23rd? Before I talk about that, let's talk about what's happening already. First of all, okay, hold on. Where's my notes at? Okay, here we go. I got to get my papers. I told y'all, I read. All right. What's happening as far as distractions, scandals, and all kinds of psyops and shootings and all this crap, and people dying? Well, this is what's happening right now in July 2016 that's leading up to July 23rd. Now, of course, you got this Bill Cosby sex scandal crap, distraction. You got the Hillary Clinton email scandal, distraction. Like, oh, she need to go to jail, she need to go to prison. She probably a goddamn clone anyway, like, who gives a shit? Of course, you had that police shooting with the police shot that black man in the car, and his fiance, I think it was his fiance, was filming it. It's all on the news. Distraction. Even when somebody really do die in these type of psyops and all this crap that the Illuminati be doing, it's still a distraction. Even when it's real, it's fake. Then of course you had the 5 Dallas police officers who were murdered. See, all this stuff, and that's another thing too. Y'all need to understand. They trying to get y'all involved in a race war. I said it before and I say it again. Black or white, if you believe in Christ, then you all right. If you don't believe in Christ, fuck you. So, and of course we had that not too long ago. I think that was in June, if I'm not mistaken, with that shooting that went down in Orlando. But everything else I just talked about has happened in July, and it's this escalation that's leading up to the 23rd. So, what is this leading to? What is this all about? What's going to happen on July 23rd, 2016? Well, my mind was blown. This is why I had to do this show. What is going to happen leading up to July 23rd, 2016? Think about it. Do you know what's going on? Just days prior to July 23rd, the Republican National Convention. Holy shit. Are you kidding me? Now, all right, let me get my papers. I reads. I told y'all I reads. Now, hold on a minute. I'm going to tell y'all why this is strange. Now, first of all, it ain't no coincidence that the Cleveland Cavaliers won the NBA championship this year. The same year they just happened to have the Republican National Convention in Cleveland. What a coincidence. And there was a number of brothers weeks before and leading up to the championship talking about the NBA was rigged. And they said they knew for a fact that Cleveland was going to win. And that's exactly what happened. So again, what are the odds Cleveland wins the championship same year, same time frame that this Republican National Convention is coming up? And we all know, those of us who are paying attention, it's been some shit going down at these Donald Trump rallies and conventions or whatever the fuck you want to call them. So I've tried to figure this out because I read that they haven't had a GOP convention. GOP, I think it stands for Grand Old Party. Grand Old Pussies. The GOP, which is the Republicans, they haven't held a convention in July since 1980. Now, all of a sudden, they decided to move up the convention to July. This year of all years, the year that supposedly is Barack Obama's last year in office. Now, reading on the internet, reading one of those articles, it goes on to say, well, the reason why they're doing this is because of money. Bullshit. Now, of course, money is always involved in one form or another, but they wanted to move this Republican National Convention crap. They wanted this to happen in July, leading up to the 23rd, because this is their ritual season where they do all kinds of sacrifices and kidnappings and all kinds of shootings and bombings and plane crashes and coincidences and train derailments. All this stuff goes down. It ain't no damn coincidence. So they haven't had, the GOP hasn't held a July convention since 1980. Now, that was 36 years ago. Here we go with the numbers. 36. What a coincidence. What's up with 36? Well, 3 sixes. What a coincidence. Sorry. Believe it or not, these are spiritual matters. These are demons. No coincidence. So, the GOP, here's what's really going down. Y'all need to get the word out to people out in Cleveland, because y'all being set up. I'm reading this article. It's from truth.org, written by Callie Holloway, and I'm just going to read the first few lines. Now listen to this. This was put up on Friday, July 1st, 2016. A white nationalist group that was involved in a violent brawl with anti-racist protests this weekend in Sacramento has announced its plans to be at the Republican National Convention in Cleveland to protect Donald Trump supporters. Wow. Prophecy fulfilled. The rituals are happening. And when I say prophecy fulfilled, because like I said earlier in the video, I told y'all that there was some demonic shit that was going down leading up to this election. And when I told y'all that, I completely forgot about July 23rd. So people, this is what's happening. put this paper up. This is what's going down. I don't know exactly what's going to happen on July 23rd. We may hear about a celebrity passing away. There may be some type of shooting. You know, we got the distractions going on already with the Hillary Clinton crap, the Bill Cosby crap. And of course you got these shootings. Police being killed and police shooting a black man and this and that. And of course, prior to that, you had the crap in Orlando. So what's happening is this. You're being distracted. You're being set up. And those of you who are in Cleveland, I'm not going to sit here and say that something bad is going to happen that's going to change all our lives. I don't know. But I read somewhere they got a $50 million insurance policy. Cleveland do. You got the National Guard out there. Of course, you know you got the FBI, Secret Service. It's been a lot of fights, chaos, bloodshed, a little something here and there during Donald Trump's rallies and all this stuff. And here you got the white supremacist group publicly telling you, hey, we come to Cleveland to protect Donald Trump supporters. You know some shit is going down. I read somewhere they already expecting at least 1,000 arrests. You know some shit is going to go down. But here's the problem. The question is, how bad is it going to be as this convention goes on? Because, yes, something is going to happen. There's going to be some arrests. There's going to be some scuffles. But the question is, how bad is it going to be? Because I'm telling you, the Illuminati is biting at the chops, as they say. They want martial law. They want to start a race war. They want to start World War III. And I know for a fact that this is a setup. It doesn't mean, and I'm not saying that I know for a fact, martial law will be declared and, you know, the sky's gonna fall and all this shit leading up to the 23rd of July. But this escalation continues. And I know for a fact that the Illuminati is going to do everything in their power. They are hoping and praying that things in Cleveland get out of control. So those of you in Cleveland, anybody who's listening to me, you know somebody in Cleveland, get the word out. Let them know that this is a setup. Cleveland wins the championship. Republican National Convention moved up so they can have it just before the 23rd of July. This is not a coincidence, people. They want this war. Remember, all these things are for a distraction. So this is not about, I'm not telling you to ignore these things that are happening, but don't let it consume you. Don't let them put that fear into you so they can suck the energy out of you. I talked about these energy vampires. So I just don't know. Like I said, July 23rd is coming. And remember, this ain't just about negative shit. There's some positive energy coming through. They trying to distract you from that. I'm looking forward to it. I believe July 23rd is on Saturday. I'm partying my ass off all by myself. Give me a cigar, ice water, and it's on. Get my fucking stereo and blast that motherfucker. The heaven's gonna hear it. All the way up to the 6th seal, baby. So, y'all be careful. Those of you who may be listening to me for the first time, I've been putting up a number of videos talking about my dreams and visions. And before I go, I want to say this. I want to tell you real quickly about this experience that I had. And this wasn't a dream or a vision. So check this out. In 2013, I was asleep and it was right around 3 o'clock probably, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was basically half awake. I can see around the room, so my eyes were open. And while I was laying there, pretty much half asleep and half awake, with my eyes wide open, I was talking to somebody. And I didn't know and can't remember to this day what I was saying. But while I was talking, and I know it was a goddamn demon that I was talking to, while I was talking, I had this smirk on my face. So I was telling this nigga off. And all of a sudden, I heard this loud pop. And I saw this blue light in the shape of a mushroom cloud right next to my bed. And I jumped up and I turned on the lights and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I freaked out. I thought I had my gat right next to the bed. I thought something was on fire. I was like, damn, the bullets caught on fire. What the hell's going on? I'm smelling around. Can't smell nothing. I was like, ain't nothing on fire. What the hell's going on? And then I sat back and thought about it for a minute and I said, oh man. I was like, damn. I was worse off than I thought. You know what happened? I cast out a demon. No joke. And if you don't believe me, just look it up on the internet. Any priest, legitimate priest, will tell you that sometimes when you cast out a demon, you will hear a pop that sounds just like a gunshot. I want to make 2 points about this. Number one, I'm speaking to you demons because I know y'all listening. If I'm casting you niggas out in my sleep, what am I gonna do to your ass when my father unleashes me? That's number one. Number two, for those of you who are out there listening to me, this experience that I had happened in 2013 on July 23rd. Boom. What more can I say? Coincidence? I think not. Thank you for tuning in. This is the first episode of the Playa Lord Show. I am your host, Playa Lord. See you next week. With that being said, till next time. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, let the 144,000 unite.